Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Moms in Real Estate. I'm Angela Fazio.
And I'm Kristen Cantrell. And today, you guys, we get to talk to Gia Young.
Yep, she is our second mortgage broker we will ever have on this show, but she is absolutely fascinating. I cannot wait for you to hear her inspiring story. So Gia, get us started and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, ladies. Well, my name is Gia, of course. I go by the Gorgeous Mortgage Nerd. I'm a mortgage broker with this company called Direct Mortgage Investors, Inc. So I do both residential and commercial real estate lending. What brought me to this?
Wait, hold on. I have to stop you. You have to tell me. You go by the Gorgeous Mortgage Nerd. Is that your Instagram name?
Yes.
I love it.
Why do you think I opened up her profile and I was like, I got to know this girl?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so catchy. I love it because you are gorgeous.
That's for sure.
You.
And then throw in the nerd and we're like, what is this all about?
Right. So it was more of the branding as far as, the stereotype of nerds being unattractive. And of course, the little gorgeous part kind of threw it off, a little catchy. And it was also kind of, empowering myself a little bit, a lot of a big secret. I struggled with a lot of insecurity growing up. Yep. So I started the little gorgeous Gia, just calling myself gorgeous. That kind of reminds me, it's not even just about the appearance. It's more of like who I am. And so that's how
over yourself. That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. And I'm a mother of a bossy 1-year-old. His name is Nazir. So he is a big part of my why in this industry as well. So I know we'll get more into that in a minute.
Yeah. So you guys, I can't wait for you guys to hear the strength and the inspiring example that Gia will have for you guys. So sit tight through this whole episode because she's gonna, I don't know, I'm inspired by her for sure. So where do you want to start, Gia? Do you want to talk about why you decided to get into the real estate industry?
So I found myself pregnant and single. And at the time, my full-time job was just enough to basically pay bills and a little to get by. And I was seeking actually a part-time job to where I can just feel comfortable bringing a little one in this world. Well, at the time, I was actually pursuing home ownership. And I was frustrated with my MLO. He was very cold shoulderish. This was my first time even being like purchasing my first home, anything to do with real estate transactions. So I didn't know what was going on. So in that case, I got 3 no's actually. I kept getting denied 3 times, but every time I saved my own file by doing my own research. So I was like, well, let me see if I can study. And since I'm practically doing his job, let me see if I can actually become a mortgage loan originator. So my whole pregnancy, I actually studied while I was actually pursuing home ownership. Finally got under contract and I did a new construction. I ended up going in labor 3 months earlier than expected. I actually went into the hospital the day that I was set to initially take my exam. So I had my preemie baby. He was a strong preemie baby. He stayed in there for like 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And as soon as we got home, I took my test and passed the first try. So initially what brought me into the real estate industry was seeking extra money. But as my beginning journey it was hard because I dealt with postpartum. So throughout my pregnancy, of course, I was going through life, other things that, trying to adapt and learn myself again as a new mom. And postpartum whipped my behind. So here I am, a new mom, pumping, trying to prospect with new realtors, and then they're hearing a baby in the background. Like, okay, excuse my coworker, okay, and just dealing with like all the different emotions. That was the hard part, but I kept pushing through. And I feel like the hardest part was to just keep going because in the beginning, you feel unseen. In the beginning, you feel like nobody wants to work with you. And on top of already dealing with the emotions of postpartum, that was hard. But
there's so many factors that you had that just could contribute to. I mean, I just think about like, being a new mom at home and just feeling like you're just surviving. And for you to be able to like throw in like a really, really hard test in the mix of all that, you are taking care of a brand new baby all on your own. Like, and it's so hard. So when you went through postpartum, tell us a little bit about like, how did you know you had postpartum? What did you do to deal with it? Like, are you better now? Like, dive into that a little bit with us.
I was actually in denial for a full year before I actually mentioned anything to my doctor.
Wow.
So one triggering, it was multiple factors. So one, I was waking up with scratches all over my legs and my arms. So that was a sign that my nerves was bad. And I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was hitting stuff, but um, come to find out my doctor was telling me I was scratching myself and that's a sign of nerves. Second thing, I would cry a lot. Even when things were going good, I had a new baby, a new house, everything was going good. I, passed my test and I was still sad, very sad. Another big factor was I didn't recognize myself. That saying is really true. Even looking in the mirror, I could not physically recognize who I was looking at. So those were three big factors. And I was just like, okay, we gotta do some praying. We gotta push. So after a year of denial, I actually decided to start postpartum medicine. That was hard because I'm a person that like I'm so against medicine. But one thing my doctor told me, she was like, I'd rather you get on something because you're juggling a lot. I'd rather you get on something than you risk a nervous breakdown, and that's harder to to overcome. So I ended up getting on postpartum medicine, and within 6 months I was good. I got off of it. I went, oh my gosh, that was another ballpark. Like as far as breaking away cold turkey, you have to go through those withdrawals. But after I overcame that, another big factor that helps is prayer. I made my business to pray. Even if I was tired, I made myself get up every day at 4 o'clock, meditate and pray. So I give that more credit than anything else.
Gia, I gotta tell you,
before
you are extraordinary, and I mean, all of those factors would make a regular person stick their head in the sand and give up. So God has gifted you with such extraordinary strength, and I know you know that's from God because we've spoken, but it is inspiring to me because I know that women want to deny the postpartum thing in themselves because we don't like to be off. We feel weak when we're off, right? And we want to feel strong. But it's a real thing, and it's not something to mess around with. So, for you to have dealt with that for so long without any intervention medically or that's tough. I'm really impressed by you.
Well, and to even I mean, just to think about starting 100% commission career, like you are literally all in and you have to go and you have to find people. So to have to go out and find people when you're dealing with all those other elements, like it's hard to do that if you're feeling like 100%. So how did you put yourself out there to start getting in front of agents and to start building relationships?
Okay, so my brand is basically faith-based, half faith-based and half motivational. So I actually use the motivational tactic and actually educating. So as I learned, like in the beginning, like the first year was all learning for me. So the more I learned, the more I shared what I learned. So it kind of gave me a little credibility, like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. At the beginning, I mainly targeted people that was like me, like felt, not knowing where to go, how it works, and I was able to basically hold their hand and like, here, this term means this, calm down. Just because we can't get it done, I give you a game plan. Like, this is what you need to do to get it done. I was in your shoes. A denial is not a never, it's just simply not right now. So I was able to, I'm more relatable to the people that the first time home buyers. So I was relatable. That's how I started getting my first clients. So now that I have grown and pretty much know everything on the residential side, commercial is my new thing. I'm learning more and more every day, and I'm starting to attract first time investors. But one thing that I did learn, a lot of people in this industry just try to, jump at the luxury clients and stuff. And I just want to be within my lane and allow myself to grow and help the clients that I can relate to right now. And I'm okay with that.
Hey, you know what? The other thing that you said right at the beginning, I don't want to jump over it because I've never heard anybody make a comment that's so accurate. When you first start in this kind of a business, whether, 100% commission, when you first start, you said, I felt unseen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like the most accurate phrase I've ever heard to describe how it feels when you're trying to gain traction and you just feel like nobody's going to pay attention to you and bring business by you. That's like the best description ever, feeling unseen.
And what an easy, like when you feel unseen, it's so easy to give up. Like it's literally, you have so many different fear factors that come in and creep in and make you just feel like I should just give up and do something else. So like, oh, so hard.
You and I, Kristen, remember when we felt that way? We never said it that way. But when we were starting this new venture that we're doing now with eXp Realty, that's exactly how I felt for a little bit. And Kristen and I would have to pump each other up. She would call me and she'd be like, I'd call her and I'd say, Kristen, tell me I don't suck. I don't think I suck. Do I suck? And she's like, no, you don't suck. Or she'd call me and she goes, I don't know if I can do this. Am I good at this? I'm like, yeah, you're good at this.
I still feel like that. I was at a women's conference. If I don't go to like motivational conferences like on a regular, I feel like I don't know how I would get through it because it's like you have to be reminded constantly that everyone struggles with this stuff. And if somebody says they don't, they're full of shit. So it's like,
right.
Like you need the tools. You need the tools that will help you get through like feeling like, oh my gosh, like why would anybody listen to me? And I'm a loser and blah, blah, blah. All those little self-doubts that creep in. You have to have the tools and the people around you to get you through feeling like that so that you can push through.
And Jesus Christ, that's right.
Oh yeah, I had to rely on him through the whole process because I would be a liar if I said I didn't have those moments where I'm like, maybe I'm in the wrong field. Like I may, because you have those growing pains. Like in the growing pains in real estate, you have to experience them. There's no way around it. Like you have to experience a fail in order to learn. There's no way around it. So now I'm learning whenever something like that comes up, my perspective on a lot of things has changed. Like I had to check my perspective on a lot instead of like, oh my God, I couldn't close the deal. Like, what did you learn in this process to apply to your next deal? So I guess it's a lot of perspective checking in this industry, and you got to find the ministry in the industry as well. Because you change your lives, you're allowing, even from like residential, like this is a big purchase. This is a big accomplishment for a lot of people. Commercial, you change your lives in regards to their building cash flow for generational wealth. It's a lot of good things, and you just have to find your why. And I found my why, and that's what keep me pushing. So it doesn't feel like work.
How are you, when you say you're breaking into the commercial side of everything, right? So tell us, what does that mean? Like, how are you going out and like your new goal is to build relationships with commercial agents, or what are you doing?
Yes, all of the above. So I put myself on a plan. Like, I'm doing more networking. I'm getting out my shell because, again, like, I'm fully healed from the postpartum. Thank God, fully healed. Haven't been on medicine for some months now, so I'm ready. I was kind of hitting, like, I know my social media presence seems like I'm like I am social, but in reality I'm very shy. But yeah, I'm getting out my shell. So like every 2 weeks I have been meeting up with other commercial investors, realtors, brokers, just kind of getting in that space to learn, and not, making myself feel like I'm just, know everything about it, but just being completely transparent. Like, I'm interested, how I just want to know every side so I can become that powerhouse that I see myself being in the next few years.
Yep, I don't have any doubt, Gia, that you will be
Oh,
absolutely a powerhouse. You are now in my eyes, that's for sure.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any advice for anybody that is a single mom out there that's deciding like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to build a business on my own? Like, what advice would you give somebody that's out there listening?
Keep going. Trust in you and pray. I go by the slogan, pray, believe, grind. If you pray, believe what you're praying and put the work behind that prayer. Just because you pray doesn't, it doesn't hold much weight, but whenever you put that even if you see just no way out, just continue moving. Just continue moving. God's gonna clear that path. And it gets hard, very, but it gets easier. It gets easier.
That is great
And shift your
advice. Pray,
perspective.
believe, grind.
Pray,
Yeah.
believe, grind.
Well, and I love that because I'm hearing a lot of people say that lately. Like, it's not just the, praying and the putting all the good vibes out there, whatever people are doing, like you have to put the work in too, right? And so I think that, I don't know why I feel like that's coming up a lot lately when people are talking to me. So I love that you pointed that out.
Yes. And be patient. It's not, timing is everything. It's God's timing. So I
Yes.
know I'm a big planner. I would plan my whole life if I could. But, I notice what comes with planning comes with some disappointments if you don't meet a certain, mark. Just learn how to be flexible with God's timing. Still plan, but be flexible with your plan, because it's not about, make sure your plans are in alignment with God's plans for you.
That's
It,
awesome advice. That's humble advice. When you approach your life that you're not in control, God wants you to plan. He wants you to make good plans, but check with him because we are not in control. He is. I love that.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I want to thank you so much for all. I think you gave advice throughout the entire time we've been speaking. So I appreciate you being transparent and vulnerable with us. I know that our audience is just going to love you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, ladies, for having me. You got such beautiful spirits. I was listening to all the podcasts throughout the week, and this platform is so needed in the community, especially for women in the male-dominated field. Like, this is beautiful, what you guys are
It's
doing.
actually female dominated, but it feels male dominated. Yeah, it feels male dominated. There's more women in our industry.
What?
I always find that crazy. Mm-hmm.
I know, right? It seems like I'm running across a lot of males.
We gotta be louder.
We do.
No.
We do.
I don't.
We just need to stick together and encourage each other.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being on, Gia.
Yes,
No
thank
problem,
you so much.
ladies.
And you guys, if we have Flourish coming up in November, and if you want to attend Flourish, I promise you, there's never been a woman who's come who's regretted it. And just go to theflourishevent.com and get your tickets today before they sell out. We love you guys. God bless you.
Yeah.